Hey everybody, Marcus here with nextlevelrecording.com, and thanks for checking out this video. I like keeping these videos short and sweet, so let me just go ahead and give you a sample of the snare drum we're working with today, and then I'll quickly go through what I did to get the sound that I was looking for. Cool, so right off the bat, I noticed this snare drum has three elements that stick out to me. I notice it's really fat sounding, and that's awesome. It's kind of boxy sounding and boring. And it also has a lot of bleed, meaning I can hear the cymbals and I can hear the kick drum and I can hear some of the toms in some certain situations. Now, normally I would use a gate in this situation, but for this particular song, I didn't really like the sounds I was getting with the gate, so I went ahead and used an expander. Now, I'm using the expander that comes with Pro Tools. Now, if you don't know what an expander is, it's basically an upward compressor, which is also what it's known as. And this will reduce the quieter sounds in a recording instead of increase them like a compressor. Like I said, I could use a gate, but for this sound in this song, I personally liked the expander better. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about my parameter set in here because it's not universal, and you can't use it on every single track. It's not that type of plugin. But let me go ahead and play and re-enable and bypass this plugin. Really listen to the cymbals, how much quieter they get, how much quieter the kick drum gets, but the snare drum doesn't get any quieter. Cool, so the snare drum does get a little bit quieter, but mostly in the ghost notes. So the ghost notes aren't exceeding this threshold, so the expander is basically turning it down because it's not noticing that it's going above the threshold, and that's part of the snare drum. So the way we're going to fix that is with compression. Now, again, I'm using the compressor that comes with Pro Tools just because we all don't have the same compressors, but if you use Pro Tools, you have this compressor. Now, again, I'm not going to go into full detail about my settings on this because they're not universal, but quickly, I have a 4:1 ratio. I have a medium fast attack, not too fast, and a slower release. I'm doing about 7 dB of gain reduction, and I am also increasing the gain from the gain that I lost by reducing the dynamic range of this snare drum with this compressor. Now, you're really going to hear this in the ghost notes, and the snare drum will get a little bit fatter. So let me go ahead and play, and I will re-enable and bypass this snare drum so you can hear the difference. Cool, so you will notice that the cymbals will come up a little bit with my gain being put up to 7, but the ghost notes got way louder. They really fit the song and really fit the snare drum now. They're not dying off like they were before, and it got a little bit fatter. Now, earlier I said that this snare drum was kind of boring, so what I mean by that is a little bit muddy, but it's really a little bit boxy, and it's lacking a little bit of top end. So what I did was roll off about 93 hertz just to clean up the bottom end a little bit. I boosted the fatness of this snare drum by 3 dB at 168 just to give it that full sound. I cut out the boxiness of this particular snare drum at 816, and then I gave it a boost in the higher frequencies just to give it a little bit more shine so it can cut through the mix a little more. Now, this is going to be a pretty drastic change. You'll notice that the cymbals will come out a little bit more with this boost in the top end, but with all the elements back in with the snare drum playing like the overheads, it's not going to make that big of a difference. So let me go ahead and play and re-enable and bypass this, and you'll hear the huge difference in these EQ moves. I mean, that's pretty big. I'm going to do that one more time. This is the biggest move right here. I'm going to go ahead and boost this so you can hear the crap that was in this area. And when I cut it out, it really tightens up this snare drum. Cool. Well, that's really all I did for this snare drum. With the drums, it sounds awesome. Now, I don't recommend EQing in solo, but I did that just for this demonstration today. Go ahead and try using this in your session. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to comment. Also, subscribe to us, like our page, and follow us on Instagram at Next Level Recording. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later.